The first new weapon of Chapter 2 Lightning Strikes. This is the ZK-383, a brand new SMG for the medic class. I know a lot of players right now feel the medic needs more love, and a new SMG like this is gonna help the medic out with at least variety, but there are some people calling for the class to even get access to semi-auto rifles. But right now, this is what DICE is ploughing on with, and this is the new weapon the medic has got to play with. The ZK-383 is locked behind a set of assignments, just like previous weapons have been. Make it through those, and then the weapon is yours. The challenges this time aren't particularly difficult to complete, and you know what? I'm absolutely fine with that. If the challenges were too hard and you missed the chance to get your hands on the weapon, outside of things not tracking properly, I'd say you'd be even more annoyed. Thankfully, with the recent patch, however, DICE fixed the tracking system for Tides of War assignments, so you shouldn't have any problems jumping into matches, working your way through, and getting your hands on this brand new SMG. The challenges this week revolve around squad play for the most part, and it requires you to play the new Squad Conquest game mode. I posted a video on that yesterday, so if you want to check that out, it's linked down in the description for you. Okay then, let's go through the unlock process. This is the tree for this week. Firstly, you've got to play through 3 rounds of Squad Conquest. Just matchmake yourself in, play the rounds, and you're good to go. Next, you've got a split of 3 different paths. The top path, you'll start with Squad Spawn. Simply have 5 squad mates spawn on you. And then Defend or Perish, requiring you to get 10 defensive kills. The middle path only requires you to do 1 challenge called Earning Trust. Here you need to score 15,000 XP in Squad Conquest. And the bottom path asks you to complete Tag Team, which is kill or squad assist 20 enemies, and Foresight, building 15 fortifications in controlled areas. That just means within flag locations that you own. Of those 3 paths, the middle is perhaps the most passive, and just continuing to play Squad Conquest after completing the first challenge before that path split will likely let you move on the quickest out of the lot. I will be honest, with my 3 to 4 hours of playtime now in Squad Conquest, I completed all 3 paths without even having to directly focus on any particular challenge. All of them are very passive, and just playing the game mode should complete them all and reward you with plenty of chapter XP. The tree then comes back to a single line challenge next called On Your Feet, where you have to revive 10 different squad mates. That's not very difficult at all, but a small branch off of this is another challenge called Sanitator. That is a really good named challenge. This is a totally optional one, so you don't have to do it if you don't want to, and you can just work towards it over the next week, but you have to revive 6 players in 1 life as a medic, and that'll net you an extra 14,500 chapter XP. I completed this by joining a conquest match and just sort of skirting around the edges of an objective as we all pushed up. I just revived people and doled out the health, and I unlocked the challenge. And finally, simply win a round of Squad Conquest, and then the ZK-383 is all yours to use. As I said, this entire set of challenges is quite passive, and it doesn't ask you to do much out of the ordinary to get this brand new weapon, and I quite like that. The challenges being more passive suits the fact that this weapon is supposed to be attainable for everybody. The only real focus is around Squad Conquest, the new limited time game mode, and as per my review yesterday, I think that's not a bad mode for you to be playing. So, this ZK-383 then, is it actually any good after you've unlocked it? Well, from my experience so far, I'm really liking it. At first, when you initially unlock the weapon and you load into a map for the first time, and you've got it in your loadout, you'd be forgiven for mistaking it for the MP28 or the MP34 or various other SMGs in the game. It does indeed look very similar to some of the others. There is a good reason for that, however. Lots of these weapons are somewhat derivatives of the MP18, which is a German World War I SMG. Its design was that good that the Germans took it forward and created the MP28, and then that was adapted in design by lots of other manufacturers, and it was even copied by the British to produce the Lanchester SMG. The ZK-383 is an SMG developed by two brothers of Czech-Slovak origin in the late 1930s. It was originally intended to take on the role of a squad automatic weapon with the inclusion of a bipod, but it ended up being slotted into the submachine gun role. And during the German occupation, most of these weapons ended up in the hands of the Waffen SS. In Battlefield 5, the ZK starts off really as quite an unappealing weapon in my opinion. It's a slow-firing, bipod-equipped SMG that doesn't really do much to set itself apart from the rest of the options within the medic class. The bipod being included from the start does give you some flexibility when it comes to range combat, making the ZK somewhat better than all other SMGs at medium range the moment you start using them, but it's when you apply some of the specializations that it really comes into its own. Now, this is the upgrade path that I've chosen, and it's working out really well for me right now. Level 1, I chose the right-hand side option of barrel bedding. This improves accuracy of the weapon when you ADS and stand still. This is something that you're going to want to do at the beginning with the ZK, because it's got a low rate of fire out of the box, just 514 rounds per minute. Level 2 gives you the option to switch over sides if you want to. I took that option, taking quick aim on the left hand side. This allows you to ADS 33% faster, which gives you a boost while the weapon still has that lower rate of fire active. This leads nicely onto level 3, where because you can't switch, you have to pick light bolt. And that increases the rate of fire of the ZK from 514 to 720 rounds a minute, which is a much needed upgrade in my opinion. The downside to this is the additional accuracy boost that you gained from barrel bedding at level 1 is almost completely lost, but you do retain some of it over having chosen the other side of the tree at level 1. So it's a nice little trade-off. You don't lose all of that accuracy, but you do lose a fair portion of it. Level 4 gives you two almost equal options, but I chose the faster reload by 15% on the left-hand side. That sits nicely with the higher rate of fire. When you're going to empty your magazines faster, you need the new one to go in a little bit quicker. There is an alternative setup that you can use, completely the right-hand side of the tree. That way you retain the insane accuracy boost from level 1, and you apply another accuracy boost at level 2 with custom stock, giving you improved accuracy whilst moving. Level 3 is extended magazine, and level 4 is high velocity bullets, making it slightly easier to hit long range targets with a 10% velocity increase. This ties in quite nicely with the extended mag, giving you more opportunity at mid range with this SMG. In game, this is a weapon that I really enjoy using, with and without the bipod being deployed. As it's an SMG, I've been conditioned to use it up close and personal in Battlefield 5, because that's pretty much where SMGs can actually do some damage, and you employ some hip fire now and then, and with the increased rate of fire, if you choose it for the first specialization setup that I showed you, this thing can be very, very effective. With 30 rounds in its standard magazine, you've got plenty of bullets to finish off two players before you have to reload, and because if you chose the left side specialization at level 4, you've got a slightly faster reload, the weapon is perfect for aggressive pushes onto objectives. I think it strikes this middle ground between the super fast firing SMGs like the Suomi and the Thompson, and the slower firing ones like the MP34 and the Sten. It becomes this really flexible weapon that's good at almost everything, but doesn't directly have one particular trait that it excels at. It's a jack of all trades, master of none. And I think that's exactly what the medic class really needs at the moment. A weapon that can compete at mid-range effectively enough that you don't immediately die, and one that can still hold its own at close range as well. That's likely when you're going to most need it. The ZK, in my opinion, is a good addition to Battlefield 5. It gives something new to the medic class, which so far was lacking in new options, and it pushes out their effectiveness into the mid-range a little bit more. It by no means solves the issue of medics being competitive at mid-range. I think DICE still have work to do there, but it's a step in the right direction nonetheless. Let me know what you think of the new weapon down below in the comments. Thanks very much for watching today. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications switched on, that way you won't miss any of my future content. And if you want to support my channel directly, you can click the join button below to become a member of the channel. But until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.